Hello everybody and welcome. Today I have a screen recording I took of the game of a really good battle that will illustrate a couple advanced concepts that I see asked about a lot. So real quickly, I have a screenshot of a typical arena setup. You'll notice that there's a lot that are absolutely the same or maybe a slight variation on it, which if you go up and down the ranks you'll get even more of this exact setup. And something that I'll well, not that exact setup, this exact setup, and something that I often talk about in the Discord is making sure your Aladdin is not the first to fall, because then your sped up turns is wasted on their Aladdin, which is a sack unit, which you don't want to happen. That is why most people are placing these first in hopes that they'll beat out your opponent's fodder, I guess you'd say, even though they're stronger than fodder. This is a great setup. Obviously, if you're an endgame big spender, high VIP, you'd rather have SSS or SS in the place of fairies and Aladdin, but for mid-game, mid-spenders, not endgame, this is a really good setup to strive for. Now, I go against the grain. I don't play Jilu, and I don't use fairies or Nidhogg either, but that doesn't mean that my way is superior. Actually, it's definitely inferior, but I just like my characters better because it's a fantasy game and I want to play the characters I think are cool. Now, that means my setting up for battle against them are even more important. So to illustrate that first setup, I know my Roland's almost always stronger than the other sack unit, so it didn't surprise me that I'd come out on top. If I was worried about this, I would pull someone from the back of my team, like I have a really lower mediocre bearing that's not very good, but I'd set them up just to what I call spring the trap and get rid of these first two, because this guy, by starting right off with his two sack units in Jilu, it makes it really easy for me to get in and burn his sack or burn his sped up turns on people who essentially mean nothing. You see, there's two sped up turns already. Oh, something I should mention is there's an arcane burst effect, which is going to throw this off. And of course there's luck. There's a lot of luck in this battle, but there's a lot of luck in any battle. Now, you notice he's through his sped up turns, and now I have Queen, who is definitely inferior to Jilu, unfortunately, but she's the best I got with the highest damage. And so using her on the sped up turns works, and she also gets a bonus to range units. So you'll see if he had his sped up turn still or used it against her, she would have flown. Now you're going to say that's luck, but that's another advantage she has, is an awakening skill that greatly increases her damage mitigation from her rank up skill. So that actually happens common. That's a harder hit than I'd say most hit. Anyways, to continue, he gets lucky, and I'm like, oh no, but then I get lucky right back. So now, if you noticed, there's a graphical glitch there, which happens often with the sped up, where it appears that he gets there first, right there. That's just a viewing glitch. I'm certain that that's still right. You'll see it all the time where you think you're going to be the one that hits first, or there hit first, when actually it's just this thing is terrible at keeping track of whose actual turn it is. Now, I'm not sure what he was trying to accomplish with Atlas there, but Celeste is another one who's a wonderful sacrifice unit, causing 3 turns of skill up, and she, in this 10v10 style, is very popular to put in front of him, because his active skill stops any skill up, which is very useful in the arcane mode, and him popping it all the time is very useful. I believe that it's hard with Nidhogg out, with Nidhogg so prevalent, and if you go back to the screenshot, how many people use it. But if you're using fairies as a counter versus other fairies, then whoever hits their active first and then can maintain that active is going to probably win, because your active hits no matter what. So with Arcane Burst, it should be easy for them to maintain, but in a typical battle, I would say whichever, and it comes down to fairies versus fairies, whichever one has the higher skill trigger is probably going to be the winner. But right now the consensus against me is that his exclusive and everything should be focused on attack and attack speed, which I don't believe. The main argument for that is that his skill doesn't crit, so it actually puts out a lower base damage overall, but his accuracy in general is so low. Like my queen does not have a high dodge, but you'll notice if he actually, or when he actually gets into his base attacks, that he misses if he does. But this, once again, the best way to counter this Celeste in the fairies is to have someone with high speed behind your own Celeste. Now, even if this Arcane Burst wasn't here, she's going to come in and she's going to hit for sure. And you saw he's gone already. If that didn't kill him, even if he was to get his taunt skill off on her, she builds speed so quickly. You'll notice this is going up. She gets 1% for each one of those, and then her active skill actually counts, or for each hit. So her active skill actually counts as, I think, 6 separate hits, and causes her speed to go way up too. And then this one here is a 3-turn 30% bonus every time she uses her active as well. So that's a once this actually reaches 30, it'll be a 60% bonus to her already very high attack speed, which there it is. It's finally at 30. But yeah, this is all beyond the point. The idea here is you don't want them to hit your key sacrifices early. I always say wasting the sped up turns on the sacrifice, especially with the tree petrifies that you see there, which something that seems to be common is people don't know that your back half, like these guys, contribute to your front half. So that revive and that tree stun is contributing, as you probably saw, to stuns here and revive there. So if you didn't know that, that's a little less advanced than what I'm trying to say, but the concept's there. But yeah, overall, if they're falling first and they come in and counter you with the same thing, you're gonna go down. And that's about it. Alright, till next time.